Hey everyone, it's Matt here from Man vs. Synth. I wrote, recorded, produced, mixed this song in Cheap's Clothing that we've got coming out this week on Friday. And I wanted to make this video to talk about some of the sound design elements, since I'm using effects pedals, that kind of thing. Just talk about how I made the song, basically. So let's first have a listen to the Moog over here. It's got a pretty quick envelope. What's going on is I wrote this on bass guitar originally, and this quick envelope is there to sort of mimic that. I typically would write sort of longer, more held bass lines on the Moog, but I want to try something different with this track. So let's have a listen to that solo. So you get some of that woolliness when that filter opens, and then when it closes, it ducks and leaves room for these drums. Right now you can hear that the envelope starts to open on the Moog. Just to give the song some movement. The drums are getting more intense as well. And then this guitar line comes in with the Thorpe Effects Suffering Cloud. And that takes us into the first chorus. We'll bring in the Juno and the Sub 37 are playing basically the same line, and the guitar provides the counter. The guitars also have my amp, the AC30, which I recorded with the U87. The song's been really intense up until this point, so right now we just have, a small break, and then back into the chorus. This is a good time to maybe talk about the vocals real quick. So we've got this top two here, which are sort of the main, melody of the vocals. Let's solo this group. A side of me that you'll never. Underneath that, in the first verse, we have like these whisper type vocals added for texture. I'm a fool, got this. Whereas in the second verse, I did more of an atonal, guttural kind of thing. A side of me that you'll never see. And then in the choruses, I opted to do like an octave up, give some more emphasis and oomph and sort of punch to the vocals. Makes me feel like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Once this makes me feel like a wolf in sheep's clothing. So after this chorus, we'll have our bridge, and what I've done with the Moogs here is I've just opened up the filter completely. You get this raw oscillator sound, which sounds huge, sounds punchy. I should also quickly talk about the Juno in these choruses. It's got a arpeggiator plating sort of single lines, and the release on the envelope is quite long as well, so you get these sort of extended tails. I'll just solo that really quick. And the Moog underneath it. Alright, let's have a listen to the bridge here. Some of my poor keyboard playing skills. That's all right. The guitar is doubling the Moog line. Now this might be a good time to start soloing some of these drum sounds. When I was recording these drums, I really like the sound of like large diaphragm condensers inside of the kick drum, like no front skin. I love the immediacy of it, and I think it does really well here. Since recording this, I've sort of changed up my kick sound a little bit, but the immediacy, the punchiness, the fact that it ducks away right away, leaves space for the Sub 37 to do its thing, I think really works well in this song. You can see that I have a mono overhead here, which is the I've written U87, but it's not that. It's actually the Bees Knees Oliver. Great sounding mic made here in Australia. I think it's a U47 clone, actually. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but anyway. The hi-hat mic does a lot of work. You can tell in this section there's 30 seconds happening in the drum kit. As far as the snare sounds go, we've got a 57 on the top of the snare, and I've been adding some more space in between the placement of the mic and the snare more recently, and on this record as well, actually, just because I feel like it captures more of the snare as a whole rather than sort of this ping sound that I used to be getting before. And on the side, we have the snare Bayer mic. Sorry, I've got a Bayer dynamic mic. And together. And that sort of covers most of what's going on with this track, to be honest. There's nothing really fancy happening with the vocals. The Juno, I mean, there's sort of lush-sounding reverbs, which is the Valhalla shimmer. I've taken off the shimmer side of things and just use it as a regular reverb. And I think it just sounds fantastic. I love the Valhalla DSP stuff. I can't recommend them enough. In terms of value for money, they're one of the best on the market, and they just sound the best on the market too. Now, to talk about guitar pedals, I'll sort of put up a picture right now. And you can see I'm rocking a couple of the Moog pedals. I seem a big fan of Moog. Their MF104M is a really lovely sounding delay, which I was lucky enough to purchase before they became ridiculously expensive, even though it was ridiculously expensive when I first bought it, I guess. And that's a really lovely, warm Bucket Brigade delay with tap tempo, and it's super colored, really, and you can do some really lovely sort of mild pitch shifting with it. And excessive pitch shifting if that's what you're into. And basically it just adds a lot of warmth. Next to that is the Murph, which I do use, again, like a multiple array filter, but I have loved using it as an overdrive. The FETs, the transistors in there, sound really great driven, and they push my AC30's tubes really hard. I really love the sound. It's super creamy, super buttery, really well designed, circuit board, I guess. There's some other pedals going on there, but the ones that are important for this track are going to be the Holy Grail, which I have really early on in my signal chain, right after the filter. So it goes like filter, Holy Grail, and then it goes into the Thorpe FX. Now, the Thorpe FX is a phenomenal fuzz. I've got it in this channel over here directly into my interface just because I love the sound of it so much. All of this is my AC30, which I've mic'd up. This is just directly in. And you can tell it's made up a bulk of the guitar sound because I quite like it. The Fallout Cloud, I think that's what it's called. The Thorpe FX Fallout Cloud is basically a big muff with an active EQ circuit, and so it allows me to control my tone a lot better, whereas a big muff, I felt like I was lost in the band whenever I turned it on when we were playing live. The Fallout Cloud allows me to have my place and sort of... when I turn it on, I basically see myself as being the extension of the Moog, and so it really has that sound to it, and it allows me to tonally sort of shift myself into that position as well. So that really covers the sound design, synth, effect pedal sort of side and production side of this. If you have any questions, I would more than happily answer them. Please leave a comment. We're going to get into the music theory side of things now. So let's have a look at the first verse here. So it dips out of Locrian sort of briefly and then back into it. So we've got this run up leading all the way up into an E, which would normally be like an E flat in Locrian, and then it descends down onto the E flat, and that sort of provides a lot of the underlying tension and interest in the bass line in this song. E flat, E flat. And that sort of defines the sound of the verse. The choruses sort of firmly sit in A Locrian. That's your flat 5, flat 3, 4, flat 2, 1, da da da. So going to the bridge now, this is another sort of segue out of Locrian briefly, where we play pretty much everything except instead of the flat 6, now it's a natural 6. So the scale is typically And now we got... I still think of it as being in A Locrian, but just sort of adjusted with the natural 6. There's definitely like a more correct way to think about it. And that, again, provides some of the interest in the song because, you know, we're sort of in this chorus here, which is firmly in A Locrian, and then the first note we play in the bridge section on an offbeat with everyone hitting it is the natural 6. So let's have a listen to that real quick. Feel like the wolf in sheeps, the whole day, the whole day. And that sort of covers a lot of the interest in the like musical theory side of things. The, you know, we've got like counter melodies going on between the guitars and the bass and the Juno, but they're all sort of within their respective, like nothing crazy is happening there, you know? So thanks again for listening. If you want to check out this song, it's going to be out this Friday, the 29th of July on all streaming services. But if you have any questions about what's going on or if I explain something poorly, please like leave a comment or send me a message. I love talking about this stuff. If you like this sort of content, I'll probably do some more of it as well. So thanks for listening. Have a great day.